So Carolyn did laundry yesterday, and we had to hang up clothes. Of course, we don't have a dryer, and it froze almost instantly. It's doing a little better today. You can move some of it around now. So I should be getting the part to the Cub Cadet that I was showing you yesterday's video. With the choke here, it's broke. So I'll be making a video on my other channel for that. And for those who haven't seen the other channel, go ahead and check it out. If you would, it'd be a description in the description below, or a link in the description below, or in the comment section, or the up next box at the end of this video. And subscribe to that channel, I'd appreciate it. So the thing is this is a real good customer, so I'm not talking bad about him. This is just kind of the general way things work for folks in general. He said he tested this machine 3 months ago, and it ran, but the day you needed it, so it wouldn't start. So, and it was just a dirty carburetor. The ethanol fuel, it's just bad stuff for your lawnmowers or your small engines. It's just bad. Carburetors cannot deal with that ethanol. It sits in there, and it looks, when you clean it and it hasn't corroded everything, if you leave it in there too long, it will start corroding the rust or the metal in the bowl, and it'll rust. But if you've only left it in there for a few months and it starts to go bad, it will, everybody calls it varnish, but what it looks like is chicken noodle soup. The broth, it's real thick and green yellowish color, and it will actually start to chunk up inside the little holes. There's little holes, emulsion tubes, and just little holes all through that carburetor, and it just plugs it up. It's not hard to clean. You take a little, well, you take a wire and you can go in there and clean it out. I have torch tip cleaners, different sizes, and then you take carb cleaner, clean it up, put it back on, it starts right up, and it just doesn't take a lot to mess it up. So he waited till the day before it snowed to get the snowblower running. And again, this isn't isolated to this gentleman. I mean, he's, like I said, a really good customer, and he takes care of his equipment. I know he does. He emptied the gas. But I also noticed this a lot with folks with firewood. The first 2 or 3 years we were here, it got down to negative temperatures. This year it hasn't yet. I'm kind of crossing my fingers it won't get that cold. I mean, this is cold, but everybody's talking about this is the coldest it's ever been. No, I mean, we were at -4 this time last year. It was terrible. The water froze in the plumbing on the IBC tank. This year it hasn't. We've gotten down to single digits, but it's not the coldest. But anyway, as soon as it got down into the negative temperatures, there were people out with chainsaws cutting wood in the ditches, you know, the limbs that had fallen down. I remember that first year we were in this house, a limb fell down in my ditch, and I thought, well, I'll clean that up, and I'll just put it on my stack. I had plenty of firewood. And the guy come walking down the street, don't you got enough? Firewood is what he was indicating. And I said, no, not really. I just found it funny that he was willing to take firewood from me, my property, to keep him warm because he's out of firewood. And then, of course, there's a little mom and pop grocery store around here, and they sell firewood. And it's in little bundles, like, you know, $5 a bundle. It's expensive. And that thing's always sold out when it gets that cold. Just the other day, I saw on Facebook, somebody, it got cold. He says, my furnace isn't keeping up. I need some firewood. Can anybody deliver to me? Of course, there's, you know, snow and ice on the roads, and they're having a real hard time cleaning these roads around here. I mean, they're still, I mean, this has been days ago, and they're still telling folks to stay off the roads in some areas. So he says, can anybody deliver me some firewood? I take a truckload for $100. Why would anybody want to come out? I don't think anybody responded to that request. He knew, obviously he had to know that his furnace wasn't going to keep up because we've been colder, and he had a wood stove already. So he knew, he had to have known. I mean, it's one thing if you don't know and then you're in trouble, but it's a whole different story when you know you're going to have a problem, and you choose to ignore it until it's too late. I don't get it. Business is really slow, obviously, because it's wintertime. Nobody's thinking about their lawnmowers or, well, the snowblower was a good example. Nobody's thinking about this stuff. Log splitters, that's another thing that, you know, they wait until I had that pull rope that I had to replace, and I was on a log splitter. And, you know, he's doing it the day before the cold temperatures come out. Well, why wouldn't you do that, you know, when it was nice outside, like in the fall time? I don't know. I don't get it. Maybe I'm just, I would use a word, but I'm not going to use it. Maybe I'm just overcautious. And I try to think ahead. Okay, what am I going to need? I mean, for example, I've said this a lot. When we first moved into this house, we established ourselves with 15 years of firewood. And the thing is I'm probably pretty close to still having 15 years worth of firewood, because I got this stuff over here, and there's another stack on the other side of that I got to split. And there's just, I'm always adding to the firewood collection. I figure when I die, nobody's going to know that I'm dead, and that stuff is just going to sit here until somebody takes over the property from not unpaid taxes. That's if Carolyn goes before me, I should say. I'm always going to have firewood. And if I get too old where I can't replenish my stock for, you know, just disability or something happens, and I can't replenish my stock, I would certainly buy a couple cords a year and just let it sit, even though I've got all this stuff over here. I've got lots of firewood. So I think it's a mistake to just wait and wait and wait until, it's not even to the last minute. I mean, last minute means you do it a week or so before you're supposed to. To do it the day before, to check to see if your snowblower works or your log splitter works, it's just too late. And I don't know what the psychology is behind that. Mowing season is coming up, and they always say that, you know, June is the busiest time of the year for lawnmower mechanics. Well, it starts to pick up pace really quick before June. What it is people get on their lawnmowers, the battery's dead, the carburetor's clogged up, tires are flat, whatever the case is, and they need it fixed. And they've waited and waited and waited before they got it fixed. The thing is I have to order parts. The lawnmower mechanic is going to have to order parts. So you need the grass now. It's raining, it's springtime, so it's constantly raining, and you get a chance to mow. It's a Saturday, you're off work, you jump on the lawnmower, and you're going to cut this hay field because it's been raining so much and you haven't had a chance to cut it. And the mower won't start. So you bring it over to the lawnmower mechanic. The lawnmower mechanic takes a look at it and says, yeah, it's going to take a week for parts. I can't wait a week for parts. I need it today. I'm off today. It's going to rain all week, and I'm going to have, you know, it's going to be twice as tall as it is now. There's no way I can wait that long. And I don't have a choice. I got to order parts. So it becomes the mechanic's fault that it can't be fixed today, instead of realizing, you know, if I'd have taken that over to him a few weeks ago, if I just tried to start it a few weeks ago, I would have known that it didn't run. But it's easier to yell at the mechanic that it's going to take him a week to get it done. So I've been posting online, you know, check your stuff now. Check it right away on these Facebook groups, and nobody responds. No one's interested. The day it snowed, you know, there was ice on the lines, and so people were losing electric. And sure enough, my generator won't run. I don't have any electric. Can't get it started. Of course, you can't. I mean, the roads were ice covered. You couldn't drive. So they're stuck. They have no generator. They have nobody that can fix it because they can't get the generator to anybody. I posted online, you know, all the stores are closing. Then they were saying that. Such restaurant, such store, it's closed for the weather. I posted, I'm still open if you need your generator looked at. I knew I wasn't going to get any business because nobody could come over to bring it to me. I think it's I just don't understand. So my point to this video is, you know, I'm not a prepper. Never have been a prepper. I don't even think that prepping is a good idea. I think it's a waste of money. I mean, I've said this in off-grid videos that living off-grid is much more prepared than a prepper is ever going to be. There is some things you should just do just because it's the right thing to do. If you know it's going to be cold, make sure you have heat. If you know that your pipes freeze every year, make sure you got water. If you know it's going to sleet and rain and snow and you want to get your driveway cleared off, make sure that, you know, a week ahead of time when they start predicting it, that you get your snowblower looked at. I'm not really sure what the purpose of waiting and then being frustrated that it didn't work out for you. You know, when the check engine light comes on the car, I don't wait around. I immediately start looking into it. Now, I have a tool that I will just plug in to see what's wrong. And if I can't fix it, then I take it in and I get it fixed right away, as soon as I can. When the license plate starts to become expired on the truck, I don't wait until the last minute, because, you know, if you wait till the last minute, what if your truck doesn't start that day? Now your license is expired, you got to get it to the mechanic and to the license office. Do it as soon as possible. I started working on my license last month. I was trying to do it online, but for some reason I can't get online, which if I'd have waited to the very last minute, that would have been frustrating. So I sent them an email. They're supposed to send me an email back. I haven't gotten it yet, so I'm pretty sure I'm not going to get an email back. Don't you just love how government agencies work? Yes, I know in Missouri they're not a government agency, they're a private agency, but they work like government agencies. So I would say that having a sense of making sure that your equipment is going to work when you need it, or that you have heat when you need it. This isn't prepping, this is just logic. Okay, let me think about this. It's going to turn cold and I need to have my furnace running when it's cold. I wonder if I should check it. No, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait until it's negative 5 degrees outside and I'm going to turn it on and then be mad that it doesn't work. I mean, I can understand if something broke after you take it in, you get it maintenance or checked or looked at, and it ran great, and then you hit a stump and you broke something, and then you're frustrated. But that's a whole different thing than just not taking responsibility and making sure that you have what you need. I don't know how people raised families. I always made sure everything worked in our house. So I just don't like taking a risk. I always had a backup heater, just in case the heater didn't work for some reason. Had a kerosene heater that we all could sit around when I was raising my daughter. I made sure we always had a little bit of money set aside so we can make sure that if the car breaks down, we can get the car fixed. Doesn't make sense. So if you'll click this up next box, it'll take you to a video on my new channel showing you how to look up parts. So hope I can inspire you to plan ahead a little, so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.